ready to go. So,
Good deal.
oh yeah, man, I'm excited. All right, man. Welcome, Stats Global Community. Welcome back for another episode, man. I'm really excited this go round. Getting to sit down with my good friend, Mr. Johnson here. This is different realm. I normally have some sports guests, some entrepreneurship guests. He's definitely an entrepreneur, but it's coming from a different space of the fashion industry. So I'm kind of excited to talk about it because fashion is really plain Jane and basic. But when you get to sit with somebody that really that's their thing. Like they do fashion and it's bigger than just fashion. But that's kind of like the overall industry of fashion. So I'm really excited today to get started with this interview. So without further ado, I'm gonna let him go ahead and let us know who he is and what he does.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rashida. My name is Darrius Johnson. I am the CEO, owner, and operator and lead creative director of Crownology Fashion Company.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where did the name Crownology come from? Because that is powerful. If you know the concept of what crown means, and but where'd the concept come from?
So one day I'm literally walking in Marshall's and I see like this little like crown, what have you, but it was broken. And at first I wasn't going to get it because it was broken. It had a defect, and I literally the Spirit of the Lord really just spoke to me and was like, you will be able to have the ability to help people, to adjust and fix their crowns.
Wow.
Right? So I took it, and I started really studying on them. And I said, wow, the study of is ology. So I said, okay, so that's that etymology coming in, right? So I said, chronology. And that's where it came from. And knowing that everybody deserves a crown, everybody deserves a crown. And just knowing, just studying what your crown possesses and what's in that crown. Just doing that deep study on, why you are you. Why your creativity, why do you do the things that you do? And that's all within the realm of your crown.
That is powerful, man. Chronology. So what is chronology though? Like if I was to come around and or just anybody that's interested in finding out more about it, what is chronology?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So chronology is a collective of creatives, right? So chronology is a platform that I created so that people from all walks of life that's really heavily in the arts, right? Would have a platform and a safe space to be able to showcase and just really nurture their work.
Nice.
Really nurture their work. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So I first learned about chronology with a few of your fashion shows. I think the first one I heard about it, but I missed it. And like I said, fashion is something I've kind of been around. So I picked up a camera. A great friend of mine, actually I call him my brother, Don Harris. They call him Nikon Don is his name.
Okay, yeah.
Has had a camera since 2010 when we met, and I've seen a lot of fashion because he was big into fashion. He's a fashion photographer.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've seen a lot. However, like sports is my passion.
Right.
But just being around fashion for so long, like I've been able to see it. But I had the first opportunity to come to the one that you did at the Institute where, what was the theme with that one?
Oh, so the theme
like
that one was our monochromatic theme.
I didn't want to get it wrong. Like I said,
No, you're good.
I know it was a theme, and I was going to say something of that nature.
Yeah.
So I came, but it wasn't monochromatic. I think I had like something dealing with the colors, but I really wanted to, get involved. And when I came, I was like, hold on. I've never been to a fashion show before. It's something different, but to have a theme, like you'll go to a wedding or a party where it's themed, but a fashion show is different because it's about what you're wearing. Like that's what it matters.
Yeah.
Like I said, on a regular basis, I just wear a regular t-shirt. I have maybe 20 plus pairs of khakis. Literally, like I can wear a pair of khakis every day, and somebody would think I wear the same pair of pants every day. But I just look at it like I can wear anything with it. Like anything, I can put on a nice shirt, and I'm a sneakerhead, so it really goes with any pair of shoes that I wear. So I'm like, I put on my shoes, have on my pants, and then figure out what the shirt looks like. But to come and experience that fashion show was amazing. I've been definitely looking forward to the one that's coming up this year.
I appreciate that. Wow.
And I'm just excited to like what it does. Like you said, what fashion does for you is really important. It makes you feel good.
Yes, it is.
When you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it until I came then. Like I dress, on a regular basis. I know I want to look like somebody when I walk out.
Right.
But when I came in there that day, and I'm like, I really feel like I've accomplished something just personally. Like, okay, I paid it. I really took an interest to go find something to wear,
Right.
and, you know, something different, something out of my comfort zone. And I came, and I'm like, the event was amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking
man,
about
yeah.
it was quality. It was different. It was, man, listen.
I appreciate
Never
that.
been to a fashion show before. First one ever, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I love
Phenomenal.
that. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I mean, you know, like I said, you know, I have the vision, but I'm just super grateful for the people that I'm connected to, right?
Yes.
To help me execute and make sure that we create that experience. And I think the thing is, what people don't realize is that, you know, even with the fashion game, you know, that's great, right? But like the artistry of what's behind that, you know, I want to make sure that when we have our shows, I want our people, our guests, our clientele, or what have you, our following, I want them to know that, no, so when I'm going, like, this is about me as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
We had Runway. Yes, we had models, and they did an amazing job, right? But I think just that level, that high-end level, that bar is set to a certain degree because you're putting on your clothes and you're coming. And that's one reason why we did all of those different monochromatic backdrops, because we wanted people to take time to take pictures with themselves, their loved ones. And I can't tell you how many times now I'll still go on Facebook, and every so often I put in our hashtag, and I'll still see people that I didn't even realize that were there. And they'll have like their outfits on. Some people have used them for their profile picture, and they're like, DJ, like, yo, because that's my nickname. Even though I'm Darrius, but everybody calls me DJ. And so they're like, yo, DJ, like, this was like really good. And I'm like, did you take any pictures of the show? And they were like, yeah, but I love what I had on, you know? And sometimes people just need that extra push, right? I just think that people need that extra push just to know that they can be into something and feel great and have a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely. You raised the bar on that one. You definitely nailed it. That's how I felt as a guest. So with the upcoming show for this year, what's the theme for this year?
So this year is Summer of Soul, and I am so ready for the Summer of Soul. So this year we are paying homage to the Dan River Mills.
Okay.
River City Fashion Week will always pay homage to the textile company here in Danville, because I often say that because I am a product of the Dan River Mills.
Okay.
You know, my family, but the majority of my family worked in textiles for years.
Okay.
Right? And I always think that it's a great idea to make sure that we keep the legacy of things that provided food, right? The things that got us to where we are today. And so before it plummeted and before things happened with the economy, you know, Dan River was a thriving business, you know? And so we're paying homage to that this year. And so, but not only that, we're paying homage to just the culture of the 70s.
Okay.
Man, oh my gosh. So from the music, and when I say music, from every genre, we are literally making sure that we're going to encompass and we're going to embody for 2 days, 2 strong, solid days of just the Summer of Soul, man. And I'm just super, super excited about it. Everybody can come in there chic. 70s gear, because if you notice, you know, flare jeans, oversized shirts, things of that nature, that stuff is coming back. We got girls going to wear roller skates. We have the whole 9, and so we're super excited about it. So this year, June 28th and the 29th is going to be the Summer of Soul. We have a lot of amazing guests. We have Mr. Justin Haynes, who is one of the designers in the New York fashion realm. We have, and just off the top of my head right now, I'm just thinking, we have Corey Jones, who's going to be he's going to MC one night, be one of our our hosts actually.
Okay.
We have Zeb Talley, who's a phenomenal psychiatrist, and he has a great following now. We have Selena Roberts, we have Darius Covington. We have just a power-packed show. And you know, this year it's about the creative, right?
Yes. Okay.
This year for us, it's about the creative. Sometimes I think what people fail to realize is that burnout happens really fast for us.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I can
One,
agree.
because we're always dreaming.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One, and it takes a special person to marry, date, or even be connected to a person that's a creative.
Yes.
Because we have our really high highs, but we can definitely have our very low lows. And this year, I wanted to make sure that in the hustle and the bustle of the show this year, that we were gonna take the time to just have an intimate moment where it's just the creative, and it's just people that's already stellar in their craft.
Yes.
Pouring into the people that's in the seat. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you make T-shirts, if you make sneakers, or if you repurpose clothes, or if you do upcycling, it doesn't matter what you do. It's the fact that you're creative, but at some point you need a moment to where you can just say, let me get around people like myself.
Yes.
So that I can kind of rejuvenate and get back into the game of what I've been designed to do.
Wow.
So we're super excited about it. So the 28th is the like I said, it's our whole creative hub. It's all an Eventbrite under Crownology, and then on the 29th is our show, and we're excited about it at the Memories event space. So we're excited about it.
Say that one more time.
So it's so on the 28th we're going to be at the Cottontail, which is on 400 or 600, my bad, Craighead Street, and then we'll be at 218 Popular Street at the Memories event space, where Lakeisha Curtis, she's doing a phenomenal job with that event space. And so we're excited.
Nice. I'm excited as well, man.
Yeah.
So you touched on 2 points. You talked about being, coming from the textile industry, your family and everybody, working in the industry. So being in, growing up, so I'm not from here. I'm from Philadelphia originally, but I moved here around elementary school. So Danville actually raised me. I never take that away. Danville definitely raised me. My family wasn't in the textile industry. However, I'm very aware of the area, and that's all I could hear of. Danville mills and factory this and factory that, and mill this and mill that. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So to now see the revitalization of all those different buildings and areas is like, who knew? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who knew that it would not be here, for one?
Right.
And two, who knew that, now it will be something like a historical space, which
absolutely
speaks volume. Yeah. But when you were saying that you were a product of the textile industry, like it hit home for me, because like you are a product of your surroundings and where you come from. Yeah. Like whether it's good or bad, you know what I'm saying? Like you outside of fashion are dealing with troubled teens and troubled youth actually. Yes. And I, have been in the education space where we see kids at all kind of levels. So like when you are a product of your environment, you see that, whether it's good or bad.
Yes, you do.
So coming from a product of the textile industry, you're now in fashion, which is a direct correlation. Yeah. So it goes to show that when you're around something, whether you know what I'm saying, I don't know if you were actually doing anything. Were you doing anything as a kid? Like, did you like do anything like sewing or making clothes or like thrifting or anything? Did you do it? But just being around it, kind of like a subconscious thing, more likely.
So my mom worked at Elso back in the 80s, I want to say, in the late 80s, mid 80s. My mom actually worked at this place called LC's, which was, and this has history within itself, but my mom worked at LC's, and it was actually the men's suit store that was owned by Bishop Campbell.
Wow. And where was that? Where's that?
That was actually that was in downtown. It was in downtown. And my mom worked at LC's, and my mom and my dad, they both played a vital role with me as far as fashion was concerned. Right? So we went to either Abe Copeland in Danville, or she would let me go with one of my friends from church, and we would go to Carter's in Martinsville. But it was always in like the Dan River, the Dan River area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so, but that's how I got my start with even doing it. I didn't even really like sewing. I didn't like anything that was tedious like that, because I was always bouncing and going, right? Yeah. Now I was bouncing and going, and so I actually started my my love and my passion for fashion around about 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 22. Okay. I knew how to put it on, right? My mom and my dad taught me very well. But I had friends that would need me to tie their ties, or I would have friends that needed jackets to wear, right? Or I needed friends that were going to interviews and was like, "Yo, bro, let me get one of them blazers off you. I know you got it, D." Yeah. So and that's how I started doing that, and I really saw that I loved dressing people. Nice. Like I really love dressing people, and that's how I got my start around about 22. Yeah, I want to say 21, 22. Yeah, and I can actually see where I was. And at that time, going back to thrifting was a thing by that time. So it had made its way back, and we were wearing the blazers, and we were going around and getting the ties, and honestly going to the thrift shop and finding the treasures in the gift shops, in the thrift stores. Yeah. So that's where I really got that passion and that fashion from. So that's when it really started. I'm around about when I was 22, Sheeta.
Wow. Yeah. And now fast forward to today, it's something as amazing as Crownology, and you put on some elegantly phenomenal fashion shows, man.
Oh, wow. I'm telling you, I really appreciate it. Like, sometimes I hear that, but it's really resonating with the way you're saying it, because it's, I don't know. Sometimes you feel like what you're doing, you're doing good, right?
Yes.
Like you're trying to make a difference. But yeah, what you're saying, I'm humbled. I'm very humbled.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like give credit where credit is due. I mean, again, I'm not into fashion, so when it comes to being a part of something that you can be a part of and go to, and you feel good about it, and you have a great experience, and what your vision was made its way to somebody else, that's when you, like you said, that's when you're doing a good job. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So
appreciate that.
Oh yeah, keep it going, man. Don't stop it. Stop it. The other point I wanted to bring up is like, to have something as phenomenal as you have, and to have a business in general, you have to have a team behind you. So let's talk a little bit about how you actually were able to select your team, and then what's your team like, how y'all work together and things.
So I started out, so my baby is Styled by Joseph.
Okay.
Which is my men's clothing styling thing.
Nice.
Yeah, so Styled by Joseph started when I was 22.
Okay.
That's when I knew that I wanted to style, men in clothing and get guys right. Didn't really know how to navigate through that space. I just started researching and doing different things, and just kind of looking at TV, YouTubes, things of that nature. But so that's how I started. I started with my homeboy Jamal.
Okay.
We started with just styling clothes and talking about certain things, and it was just ideas, right?
Yeah.
And so then I did Styled by Joseph for a while. Everything was still because Styled by Joseph is where kings are suited, right?
Oh yeah.
Anything for me is always just the upper echelon of
just
majestic and majesty, right? That's who we are. We're people of the crown, right?
Yes.
But yeah, no, and so. Bro started out with me. It was really good. Then I had a good friend by the name of Osley Saunders, who is here in the city. At that time, I think she was already in California pursuing her degree in art and fashion at the Art Institute in LA.
Okay, nice.
She's homegrown here, born and raised.
Wow.
Family has roots here and everything.
Okay.
And then she came back home. And what happened was, the way that I met my team was everybody was on the verge of just saying, hey, I've decided to stop.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Stop their like craft? Or
their craft.
Okay.
It was like creativity, right? And I knew that I wanted to have Crownology in my head. And so what I would do, just talking to some of my, my people, talking to my homeboy Jamil. He does photography here in the city, like talking to different people, and we're talking. And I'm going to them having a conversation just in general, but then I hear them talking about how, like, I just decided to wait. I'm gonna take a break, or I'm gonna take a year off. That's how we say. We start with that year. Yeah, we're gonna take that year off, and then we're gonna get back into it. And that showed me more than anything, because what was happening, it was honestly happening back to back. And the conversations that I was having with my friends that were creatives, they were stopping.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, hold up, I said, is this my team? You know what I'm saying? Like, are these the people, will these be the people that I'm like, passionately called to for what we're doing? You know what I'm saying? As far as creative Crownology. And that's what was happening. Wow. And I was like, yo, so just let's just do it, right? And they're like, DJ, all right, I'm gonna say yes, and I'm painting the picture, because I'm passionate, right? So I'm painting the picture. I see the vision. I'm talking to them. We hadn't even got anything secure yet. Like, I hadn't even gotten my 5-0, all of my paperwork, the business side of it, everything. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. But that showed me that the ability, those were the first people that I helped them with that crown.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even with my crown myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Styled by Joseph. That's dope.
yeah,
Dope.
Styled by Joseph, and that's what opened the door for me. I'm telling you, that's what really, really opened the door for me. Being able to style different people. I started with my friends, and then I started with like certain other people, and we just kept on going. And then I just really realized that I had the niche for it, right? Like it was a thing where I could see the color concept and the cohesiveness with certain colors or the different hues or the different fabrics, you know?
Yes.
And seeing underlining tones and things of that nature. So I stuck with it for a very long time.
Nice.
I stuck with it for a very long time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So to get into fashion, I know, like you were speaking on some things. Hues go color. Like I recall hearing that when I'm you know studying photography, videography.
Yeah,
However,
absolutely. Yeah.
you had a passion for it. You know, so you started doing it, Styled by Joseph, and then it evolved into something bigger as far as chronology, and you have a team. But what was involved, like studying, schooling? How did you learn like the ins and outs of fashion? Like you said, to be able to, like, as a creative, you'll already see it. Like I know that what I'm wearing is plain, and if I would have seen her beforehand, like with your skill set, oh, I would have done this, and this, or just to make this pop real quick, just swap out one thing. You can see that already, just as a creative. However, to really like get into the business of it, to know the ins and outs, like what did you do to get those, like to really know what you were doing? Did you do anything? Did you do anything? And if you did, like what did you do?
Yeah, so I haven't. The crazy thing is, where I am now, I'm expiring this year just to go to school for what I'm already doing.
Wow.
So when I first started, what I did was I sat at the feet and at the table of people that knew more than I did.
Okay. That's
I'm what's the word? Sometimes we can become very easily intimidated.
Yeah, for sure.
By those who already are like have achieved.
Yes.
So what I did was I just kept going to like different spaces where I knew that one, I was welcome, two, that I was free to ask questions, and three, I was able to soak in and get what I needed. And so my very first start was at the Jay Bolin styling boot camp.
Okay. I'm not familiar with Jay Bolin. What's Jay Bolin?
So Jay Bolin is a phenomenal he's a phenomenal celebrity stylist.
Okay.
If you know anything of Grant Hill.
Okay. Yeah.
He styled Fantasia. A lot of the things that you've probably seen within the last couple of years with Fantasia, Sarah Jakes, Morris Chestnut.
Okay.
This last thing with Morris Chestnut, that was him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he would yearly have these boot camps where he would allow aspiring stylists to come, and for a whole entire day, we're with him, and he creates this whole entire day where we're just learning the ins and outs and teaching us about contracts and teaching us about all the different things on the in and outs of being a stylist, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he gives us an amazing testimony of how he started. He was just using clothes out of Cato's, like clothes out of friends' closets, but he got to start, and he was working in a mill. And he'll tell you, like, he was working in a mill and he just stopped. But this man is by far like one of the leading and one of the most sought out stylists right now in America. Wow. Yeah, and especially for our culture, especially for the culture, especially for the church culture, especially just for honestly, the BET awards and things. And fast forward, only 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to work with him one-on-one.
Nice.
In Vegas for the Stellar Awards.
What was that experience like?
Oh my gosh. So I had met, and it was so surreal. So I met him, in my mid-20s, and then I'm sitting up here now, in my late 30s, and now I'm 40, but I met him when I was 38, 39. And it was just crazy. It was surreal. Yeah, and we made such a connection and a lasting impression with that. And I got the call. Hey, can I come out to Vegas? I did, and it was absolutely amazing. It was amazing, for sure.
So then, like you say, you spent a day or a couple of days with him?
Oh, so it was actually 2 days because we prepared. So I've worked with Tasha Cobbs, Erica Campbell. I've had the opportunities to work with some great people. Some great people. I met some great people, even within that trip. And it was just a blessing for him to be even sometimes people don't have to be nice, right?
Yes.
But to open up that space for us to be able to see, Naomi Rain, who's a part of Maverick City,
Okay.
the Maverick City group, and so that was really great, and I still got all my pictures, I got everything, because I ain't gonna never let them memories go, but it was great, and it just showed me what hard work does,
Yes.
And what we can aspire to be. So yeah, that experience was absolutely amazing. It was.
What was the most important thing you learned from that experience? Or impactful, not important. What was the most impactful thing you learned from that experience?
The most impactful thing I learned from that experience was to be open.
Okay.
To be open, to be ready at all times.
Okay.
The greatest moments in my life has been moments where I literally had to get up, pack a bag, and get on a plane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or get in the car and drive.
Yes.
Those have been the most impactful things, and so those always taught me. Those moments have always taught me to keep my bag ready, keep my knowledge sharp, and stay open to where the Lord wants to take me. Right, whatever He wants me to do, just be open to that, and just go with it. Right, like every moment is not a moment for you, but you'll know when those moments are for you. So, and I think I've learned through the years what moments weren't for me and what moments were for me. And I just know how to decipher between the two now. And so I think if that's the most impactful thing that I've learned, was to be open about which way to go, right?
Yes.
Like everything is not always going to be repetitively the same every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you spoke directly to me, because, man, boy, am I based on routine and stuff being a certain kind of way all the time. But I mean, I know in the world, change is consistent.
Right. And but even with spontaneity, right? Like it's a blessing, but it can be a curse as well. Like sometimes we have to say, all right, so this is my moment, this is my time for me to be settled and just stay secured, right? Yeah. But then sometimes it's those moments where you're like, boom, go. Like, because what you're doing, you're trailblazing.
Yes.
Because what people don't understand is that regardless of what you're doing, you've never been here before.
Yeah.
So you're trailblazing, and what I'm doing now, I'm creating a way for somebody behind me that I don't even know.
Yes.
Right? Or my nephews. I love my 4 nephews, right? And they're all musically inclined. They love music and singing, and they play sports or whatever. Okay. So that's some of my driving force. My majority of my driving force is my family, right?
Yes.
But I do know that I have to go to these places and see these people and learn these things, because I want to bring the experiences back and say, hey, all right, so this is what you want to do. So instead of you doing all these 5 different things to just do this one thing, I can help you here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it shouldn't be hard for nobody coming behind us after a while, right?
Yes.
Not trying to be churchy, but, the old song we used to grow up and sing was Smoothing Out the Rough Way.
I don't think I heard that one. I grew up in church.
So I'm in the South, right? So we got all them old songs, but no, like it's an old song that says Moving Out the Rough Way for those behind. So I'm going before them. So it's never supposed to be hard for anybody coming behind me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, even with this amazing podcast, right? Like to have these conversations and dialogues, you've created such a safe space for us to be able to have a conversation about what we're most passionate about and what we love, Yeah. And that's I think that's what that is. And so we have to be open. So even with me, typically I'm a different type of guest, but it's all happening for a reason.
Oh yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
When you said to go out there and learn and bring new things, that was actually the reason why I actually started the podcast. So I always wanted to start a podcast.
Right.
The main reason is because I like to talk. Right.
Yeah.
And I like to talk. I love to. I'm not gonna say I like to talk. I love to talk, and this is natural for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't care where I am. I can hold a conversation. It can be 5 minutes, could be an hour, and it could be with somebody I know or don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just so naturally gifted at talking.
Yeah.
And now listening back to what my aunt used to always tell me, hey, you used to talk, a mile a minute. You and your aunt Chalk, y'all would just go blah, 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 just back and forth, back and forth. And I'm like, wow. So that was me younger, and then I think probably from like the age of all the way up to like 6 or 7, and then I had this moment where I wasn't speaking at all. Like I was just really quiet to myself, and you know what I'm saying, you would hear minimal words from me. Wow. And then I say maybe 2015, it started to open back up again. Like from the age of I moved out of college 2009 or whatever.
Yeah.
But coming into like I guess learning myself,
right,
I started talking again.
Yeah.
And then podcasting, like, it might have been a thing prior to now, but I didn't start learning about it maybe till like right before COVID, maybe around 17, 18. I heard of it, but I'm like, I don't know what that is or whatever. You know, one of the things you hear about, keep moving.
Right.
But right around before COVID, I'm like, I'm gonna start a podcast. Yeah. And then during COVID, I'm like, I have to start a podcast.
Yeah.
But I've been teaching since 15 until like, you know, all the way up to now, and I'm like, yo, when I start my podcast, my goal and my purpose is going to be go out there and talk to people that are in all kinds of career paths and different, you know, whatever path they took. You know, the main thing was kind of like about success because it looks different. Success to me could be traveling every month, and that's successful. You know, success could be money for some people. Success could be, you know what I'm saying, just being able to spend as much time with your family as you want to. Like, it looks different to different people. So the main goal was to show them what success looks like in different ways. But also, I'm like, listen, I'm in the classroom. I'm in CTE. I teach about, you know what I'm saying, trades and, you know what I'm saying, having skill sets. However, it's more to that than that. Like, finding out what you like to do and who you are, like, to learn from somebody that's actually doing it is even better. You know what I'm saying? Like, real time. Like, we hear about Jordan, Kobe, all them from way back in the day. Like, for me, like, I'm speaking on it, but like, now it's like LeBron, but now it's even, like, it shows how older I'm getting, but now they're talking about different players. Like, it's not even LeBron anymore. It's somebody else. Like, I don't even know who that player is right now, but I know when I'm starting to hear about athletes and I don't know who they are, I'm like, wow, I'm that age now.
Me too.
But at the same time, like, that's the inspiration I have, like you said, to go out there and get this information and bring it back to them where they don't have to, if they're not able to, they don't have to go out there and try to find on their own. They can just, or just knowing, like, how many gyms you have right here. Like, I mean, Danville's a small city. You know, it's becoming, you know, more known because of the casino. However, it's a small city, but it's always been great people here. Since I've been here, it's always been great people here. But nobody knew about those people. And, you know, it's like in crowds and out crowds, regardless of what crowd it is or what circle it is, whatever, it's still great people in this city that the youth should know about. And the main goal is to make sure that the youth know, like you said, it should not be hard for you to figure out, if I want to get into fashion, how to find, you know, DJ, how to find Darrius. If you want to start podcasting, how to call me. If you want to get into audio, call Chris. You know what I'm saying? My so homeboy Busy with being an artist. Like, he does a lot of his own music. You know, he produces and does all the behind the scenes stuff that you would pay millions of dollars for people to do. He can do that. So like, it's people that are right here around you that you can reach out to learn these different skill sets. I think her name was Nyla Harris in photography. I mean, I can list a whole bunch of photographers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just recently, like, every day on Facebook, I see something about her photography. Not saying beautiful nobody else is doing anything.
Beautiful.
But as a female photographer, maybe a female may feel more comfortable speaking to another female.
Yes, that's right.
But male photographers that are out here as well. Like I said, my brother Nikon Don, like, I mean, he's out in Cali right now. Been out there, I think, for a couple of months. In photography, like, I picked up a camera a couple of years ago because I'm like, yo, this camera right here can take you places. But it wasn't my calling, so I'm not normally. But my calling is what, you know what I'm saying? So what you said, that just, I felt everything when you said you wanted to go out and learn stuff about fashion and bring it back and be able to impact the youth and help them with your gift and what your passion is and what you love to do. But that's not all you made of, though, right?
No.
So outside of your fashion and your passion and, you know, the fashion shows and things like that, what do you do?
So I am a case manager by day. That's my Clark Kent.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the Clark
For y'all
Kent.
young people, y'all know that's Superman out here, man.
Right. That's the Clark Kent in me. I am very passionate about our youth, and particularly our young black boys. One is because if you know anything, and I'm sure you, and I know you do, but you know, this whole pipeline, when it comes into the whole juvenile justice system, already molds our boys for prison. To a degree,
it's
not
called
even to a degree.
School to prison pipeline, right?
Yeah. That's exactly what it's called. And so, I wanted to make sure that, well, one, I was doing it because I really wanted to see where did art, fashion, and all fit into this, right? I needed a job, but I wanted to make sure that the job that I was working each day was actually speaking to what I was already doing, you know? Because I've had a lot of jobs that did not speak to what I'm doing, and I burnt out and I left them. Like, I'm like, oh no, I can't do this, you know? But this, I've been able to incorporate so many testing pilots in my within my job occupation. And so so let me talk about the job. I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
no, you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
but no, so I'm a case manager, and I work diligently, with the juvenile justice system, making sure that we're turning these young boys around, making sure that they have a listening ear, showing them love, making sure they're getting the proper care that they need, making sure that people are advocating, and I am really making sure that I am in the system advocating. I'm being either a door or I'm being a wall.
Yes.
That is my motto.
Okay. And what does that mean? I know door. I mean, I kind of get door mean. You know what I'm saying? Helping,
but being a wall is being able to deter them away from the way that they're going.
Wow.
Yeah. God has given us the ability to be a door and a wall.
Wow.
Yeah. And
wow.
And that's some days it's rough. Like being that wall, because mind you, they fighting, right?
Yes.
They don't fight Mr. Darrius, but but they do. But I see them fighting within themselves, and they're feeling like, no, bro, and this is I'm using that lingo, but on game, Mr. Darrius, like, bro, like, let me go this way, and I'm like, I promise you, this is not the way that you want to go. So I have countless of friends, and I have countless of mentors that I've known in the past. With similar stories, and I'll just show them stories or pictures, or like, my pastor who has a book, and I'll read that book or give them the book, you know what I'm saying? And because he was an exec for Bad Boy for years, and so and so then I'm talking to them about who he is today, the life that he had, you know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot, it's a lot, but I enjoy doing it because I know that I'm making a difference some ways, somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And just trying to turn it around, looking for the bad apples, you know? Our boys are not in a prison. Where I work is not a prison. You know what I'm saying? This is, a therapeutic facility, It takes tough love, but we're not throwing them away. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm that person.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I definitely enjoyed that. I'm an uncle. I have a beautiful family. I'm the oldest of 2 sisters, and I have 4 nephews. Who keep me going every day. My mom and my dad, they're amazing. I love them, and I thank God for them. And then I have friends, and then I just love the ministry and the church that I go to.
Nice.
I feel like that just with the combination of just faith, family, and art and creativity. It makes us who we are.
Yeah.
It takes all of that to make us who we are, and it's a safe space. I can't really express that enough. How safe I am in the community that I've created.
Oh yeah, that's what it should be. I mean, you should be able to create that safe space for yourself to be able to thrive and continue to become the best version of yourself possible.
Absolutely.
And give back. Like when you're your best you, then you can give back the best version of you to other people that are around you in that space, which is powerful. Like you don't understand how important it is until you're in that space where you feel like you feel. So now I feel like this, and I've created this. Now let me help somebody else do the same, and that makes it even more more powerful. So that's wow.
Wow.
Giving back the door on the wall, man. That right there. Oh man, I'm using that. That is amazing. I didn't even realize that I've been trying to be a wall because I wanted to, help the youth, deter you, like you said, deter you from making that wrong decision or going down the wrong path. But how? And I was always there. That was my finding a solution is like what I love to do. Like I already see problems. That's second nature. Oh you messed up here. You said the wrong thing there, or you could have avoided this by my better half hates speaking to me about a lot of issues a lot of times because I'm always in the solution game. You know what I'm saying? Which is good and bad. Well, this is what happened today. Well, this is what you should have done. That's
but it's solution mode.
I don't even know how to turn it off. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
I'm working on that part.
I'm
working on that part with anything because that's just naturally what I do. However, like you said, when you're trying to deter them, like, okay, well, how can I deter them? Because saying, no, you shouldn't do that, like early on in my teaching career, it was about drugs and gangs. Like, okay, this is what a lot of the kids in the school districts that I was teaching in, this is what their natural community was, like their upbringing. This is what they, like, their environment was that. So I'm telling them, no, don't do that. That's wrong. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? There's other ways to make money and da-da-da-da.
Right.
But what are those other ways to make money?
Right.
Well, where's that other instant gratification? What are the other, like, if I'm saying you seeing me for, hour and a half a day, and then you go home and you see this for 9-10 hours, then, then social media, then TV, then movies, then society. So now what is my hour and a half compared to, the other 23 that 22 and a half that you've been around all the negativity.
That's right.
So it wasn't any solutions, but it was still in my mind. So I'm like, now what can I do? So I've always been trying to create different, solutions, those different things as far as like whether it's a workbook, whether it's a course, whether it's a business where, like you said, they can come in and be a part of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? This is a podcast. Like what I'm doing is starting as a podcast. However, it's way more pieces needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They might be loving audio. So you learn the audio piece of what I'm doing, then you come on what I'm doing. I'm traveling. Like I'm not just right here. Like people, when I reach out to people to do interviews, I don't care where you are.
That's right.
I'm coming to you. Yeah. So eventually it's gonna take a team.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm providing that space for the youth to be off the streets, seeing new people. I mean, or new places and meeting new people, all in the area of what they want to be doing. No, don't come because I need you. Like, oh, I like cameras. I want to get. Okay, I need a camera person on this trip right here. Wow. I need somebody to make sure my audio is right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing most of these things on my own right now. However, with the team doing it, it's that much better. But like you said, providing that space for them to work in their craft and what they're good at is. I mean, that's what it's about. You know, that's what it's all about.
And it's amazing that you're even saying that because that literally is, our sense that's the nucleus of like who Crownology is and what it's meant to be. I love the adults that I have, like Chris and Busy, you know what I'm saying, and Sean and everybody that's working, to help us to build this up. But eventually, I want the younger kids to come in and say, yeah, Mr. Darrius, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I already know how to do this. Which I'm really happy. My nephew actually, I was picking at him one day, and I was like, hey, I said, write Uncle DJ a song for the show. Wrote the song for me.
Nice.
I heard it last night, and it just moved me to tears.
Oh, wow.
Because in the song, he said something, I know fashion is your passion because you got a big heart. Little boys, he playing games. I mean, he loves me. We hug and everything, and he talks to me. But to see how he views what I'm building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it put a drive in me last night. I thought I had drive. But when I heard that gave me such energy. I was up until like 2. I just kept listening to it. And the thing is, he was talking to me, and then in return, I'm like, and this is how I see you. Yes. And I think that's the thing, building these platforms and creating these teams for them so that they can grow and learn, and they can see the world. And I think that's the thing because, even in my early start, I worked with Greensboro Fashion Week, and I worked with them for about 6-7 years. I forgot how that goes. But I was down there in Greensboro, and I started as a volunteer. Just a volunteer, going down every year or whatnot, packing my clothes up, staying there the whole entire week for the fashion show, and moving my way on up. By the time I moved my way on up to the front of the house manager, I was working at the Boys and Girls Club, and I wanted my teams to come down. Yeah. But Rashida, what I started to learn and realize is that the kids that I am wanting to make an impact on can't afford to get to where I'm going, where I'm at.
Exactly.
So if I wanted them to come, now we were making it happen. Shout out to to Miss Cindy, Sandy Martin. She definitely made it happen. Her, LaShawn, the people that L.A., Latasha, Austin, them that created the way for me to be able to teach me about kids. They definitely showed me how to work with kids. But I realized that this couldn't happen every year. Yeah. Because this was at a great expense. Okay. So what I needed to do, I said, so what I'm gonna do? All right. So you need to bring this back home. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You need to add to the fabric.
Yes.
Of this of this place. There's a problem. There's a need. Yeah, there are different, and that's the thing. The problem is extremely large. So it's going to take a lot of us doing the same thing to cut down this major problem. Yes. So I said, okay, so let me come back and let me add to the fabric. And I'm kind of getting a little bit into what Crownology is for Summer Soul, but that's what it is. This is why it's textile.
Yes.
My mom, she was a weaver for years.
Okay.
And she told me and taught me how like she would weave and pull certain fabrics and bind them together and I mean, and doing it, right? Like, I mean, she showed me the tools, and she's telling me how she's doing it in her machine. And that's how we are as a community and as a collective of people.
Yeah.
It's going to take us, it's going to take the fabric that you have, the fabric that I have, and we need to sit down together and start weaving that together to make a strong comforter for the next set of people coming, right?
Yeah.
And so I figured that, I'm like, yo, so these kids can't get to me, so I need to come back to them.
Yes.
And that's what I was first called to do this, man. Like, I mean, I just knew that me being a creative, you know, coming back home, I'm like, I'm really enjoying North Carolina, and I'm enjoying Greensboro. I'm enjoying, because I made partner, and we opened up another fashion week, which was Twin City Fashion Week. I became partner, and my first year of partner, I was loving it. And after my first year, I said, y'all, I love this, but I gotta go.
Yeah,
you know,
it was driving you that. You had a passion for.
And I mean, I couldn't. And I'm gonna tell you, I was toiling with it. Like, I mean, I would be asleep and I would wake up. Cause I'm like, how am I gonna tell my boss and them I'm not gonna do this no more?
Yeah. Wow, that's a tough decision.
And I mean, I had gotten to the point to where I had went from volunteering, making no money, to becoming partner, and I was literally, I was becoming set. Like, this was about to be such a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I kept on like going to sleep, and I'm like, yo, I gotta talk to them, but I don't want to. I said, well, maybe let me just push it back into next year. But then COVID happens. COVID happens, and so then we canceled the show. We canceled the show, and we had a team meeting, and for some reason, they were like, so we just kind of want to have a question. We just kind of want to talk to everybody to see where everybody's at. Yeah. Right? I said, I'm not going to do this in front of everybody with the team. I said, and so I said, I'm good, you know, but I do want to talk to y'all after this is over. So we had a conversation, but all I could see, but that's the thing, Crownology was knocking loud. Yeah. I'm in a room and I can hear Crownology knocking. Yeah. And Crownology wasn't, wow. Like, Crownology was not letting up at all. Like, at all. I'm like, give me a year. Let me get all my ducks in a row. Let me see what this is gonna look like, and boom. And it's like, no. You need to do this like now. And like, so Crownology is just knocking, right? And then I go to church one day. We're getting ready to do our album for my church or whatever for our CD, our album for our church album release. And the name of the church album is Rampology.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, no, hold on, you know?
That was that moment.
And it was like, all things speak. That's me, right? Like, all things speak, and I'm like, okay, yeah, so, all right, yeah, I hear you. I get it. All right, so let me go ahead and do what I got to do. And then that's when the conversation started happening. This is when I'm starting to see Jamil. This is when I'm seeing Trinity. This is when I'm seeing Riteke. This is when I'm seeing Isley. And then I run into Sunshine, who's one of our, my business partners. Everybody, we're just all talking. And they're like, DJ, like, we want to stop, but this is good.
Yes.
Like, what you're telling me is really, really, really good. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's where we are, and that's how it is. I don't even know where we were, but I'm just like, passion knocks, right? And that's what it is. And when I figured out that the kids can come to me, I said, well, no. I just need to come to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no need for us to see the problem, and because I had to throw all of my comfortability out of the window. I had to start from scratch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I go from a company that was already built, and I literally was just sitting in a seat. So then the seat is like, yeah, this is good. And I mean, when I say experience, I learned so much in North Carolina with W&G Productions, man. Like, I really, I learned a lot. I learned who I was. I learned the I learned the aesthetic, you know what I'm saying? I learned what it was like. And I was like, yo, this needs to be home. Like, I need to make sure that this gets home, right? And so, and they knew that I had that in my heart. Like, they knew that I had that passion, what I'm saying, in my heart. But I'm like, yo, I want my kids to experience this. I want the little girl that is sitting at home, wanting to do ballet, but don't know how to do ballet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or let's keep it a buck. The little girl that's promiscuous and doing all these crazy dances. Yeah. Come on. I got you. Yeah. I got somebody that's gonna teach you how to dance, right?
That part.
Like, so let's go ahead, let's be the wall for this.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is where
yeah,
we're the
yeah.
wall, right? So, okay, so you wanna do this, right? You wanna be promiscuous, you wanna do all these crazy wild out dances. All right, Mr. Johnson got something else for you. So this is where I'm being the wall and I'm curving you.
Yeah.
And you're going a whole different way, and I'm looking at what I say, a ballerina, full of class.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? And showing her that your body can do so much more for you than what you were thinking.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then I got one of my boys, you know, they want to rap, but everything is a harsh lyric. Everything is just murder, 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 pain, 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 pow, 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 spray, spray, spray. One day I told my boy, I'm like, do you even like cartoons? I'm serious. Like, do y'all even like cartoons anymore? I'm like, Jesus, man. Like, bro, like, chill. And so, yeah. All right, so write me a song and try not to cuss at all.
That's challenging.
So
That is
challenging.
challenging.
It was.
That's challenging.
It took them, 2-3 weeks? If you had a regular song with cussing in it, you would have gave me a song right off bat in one day.
Yeah.
Right? I said, outside of drugs, outside of gangs, and outside of your girl, what else do you have? I said, lyrics speak to the depth of you. Talk to him. He actually likes poetry.
Ooh.
You get what I'm saying?
Ooh.
You get what I'm saying?
Did it come out that song?
Yes.
Ooh.
And so it's like, this is what Jay-Z and them taught us. This is what Nas and them taught. Like being a lyricist.
Yes.
And hearing the pain. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing pop. You know, like, and I contributed all I know. When I say I contribute all I know about rap to my homeboy Witness Sean Woods.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, he showed me, like, and I said, oh, okay, so this is what, all right, so this is equal to the ballad part of poetry. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
especially the whole New York scene when it comes to rap, right? Because then this is when we're hearing strings,
Yeah.
and cellos, and
Yes.
clarinets, and
Yes.
trumpets, and
Yes.
we're just hearing the music and the musicality of it and the richness of music through that. And so this is what I'm trying to expound in my guys, you know, and my young ladies, like,
Yes.
yo, you're deeper than this. There's such a depth in you that you haven't even tapped into because all you're looking at is surface level stuff.
Yes.
You know, and so that's what that's that wall portion.
Exactly.
And then when you're ready, and when you're ready to come and ready to really show your craft, or you're ready to produce like what you've been studying so hard for, then that's when I become the door.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when I become the door, and I'm like, oh no, so I know somebody that can help you with that. Oh yeah, you ready for this?
Yes.
Let's go to this. Yo,
Yes.
oh no, so you want to do podcasts? Oh, absolutely. So there's a lady by the name of Rashida, a good friend of mine. I promise you, she gonna get you right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then there's an internship. You get what I'm saying? Like
For
I think,
sure.
that's my heart passion, and I can talk about this all day, so I'm gonna stop. I'm just saying, like,
No, don't stop.
Yeah, like that's the heart of me.
Yes.
You know, fashion was just the door. But what I love the most is our platform.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what that's what I built. That's what I'm building, and that's what we are building. Excuse me. This is what our city together is building, because it's taking the lady like Mrs. Felice that loves art, you know, to talk to me about having a space for artists. You know, and it's taking certain people. So it's like we're all trying to weave this blanket, man.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the verbiage I'm using because we come from a textile place, right? So, you know, it takes so many pieces of thread to make the shirt.
Yes.
It takes so many
Yes.
pieces of threading to make the jeans or patches or patchwork, right?
Yes.
You know, our grandmas used to sew, but our grandmas also used to make quilts, and they would take quilts and use fabric out of anything that was in the house. No, don't throw that shirt away. It's good use. Do you realize that somebody actually felt like they wore a shirt and they were thrown away? So then what we have to do is, in return, we have to allow them to see the treasure that they are,
Yes.
that you're part of a bigger tapestry. You're just not a shirt alone. You're a piece of fabric in what we have created, or what we're creating as a whole, as a
Yes.
people.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you know? And so
Oh yeah.
that's what this is what this is, you know? And I think these are the conversations that we need to have in all circles. Because the
Yes.
issue is our kids of color, they're not getting afforded the opportunities as others. And I have to make sure that, and no, this is not a color thing, but at the end of the day, right now, we are not getting the seats at the table, or we are not
Yes.
getting the opportunities and the chances. And yes, we are building our tables. Yes, we are building our own. I get that. Yes, I do. I believe in that wholeheartedly. But then there is somebody that needs to listen to us.
Most definitely.
Yeah, there's somebody.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
we need to be in the room. No, I'm building my table over here, yes. But me and my table, we're gonna pick it right on up.
And we're gonna go in that room.
And we're going in the room with y'all because it's things that you all don't know and their experiences that you don't have because you don't come from where we come from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, you
Yeah.
couldn't.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I was gonna process that last part because I mean that's what it is. Like
Yes.
it's struggle
Yes, Sheeta.
because somebody said no. Somebody said no, you can't come in this room. You're not allowed. You don't have what it takes. You because of what you look like, because of where you
Yes.
came from, you can't get in this room. So now, like you
Yes.
said, it's forced us to create our own table. But at the same time, a lot of us are not just creating our table to just be separate, but we're creating our own table to, like you said, pick it up and bring it in here with y'all.
Yes.
Hey, we're back. We're here.
Yes,
Now
we're
we're
here.
having these conversations because we're coming from a different background. We're
Yeah.
speaking to, like you said, we're speaking from experience that you don't have, that you will never have because you don't know.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
if you're about what you're talking about, then you need that person that has that experience.
Yes, you do.
It can't be there without the experience.
And we all need that person, to be honest, I'm even looking at today's political climate, right? I won't even delve into that. But at the end of the day, this is one reason why I really wanted to highlight our culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the soul of our culture. Like, people don't really understand that our culture and who we are is such a rich culture, and we see our culture through the threads of America.
Oh, yeah.
And I just felt like that the Summer of Soul this year was so befitting because it would really highlight who we are as a culture and what we bring in this region.
Yeah.
Just alone.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
sure. Speaking back to what you were saying about the youth and offering, like, they don't like the challenge youth don't have anybody that's challenging them.
No.
So
No.
you're challenging them by write this lyric without, write this song without cussing.
Yes.
Using profanity or any vulgar
Yes.
language or, violent experiences.
Yes.
Hey, come do this dance that doesn't involve you being provocative and, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, outside of character as
Yes,
a female. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Hey,
Yes,
come,
yes.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's a challenge because what your normal is not all there is.
No.
But like
Yeah.
we are products of our environment, so if their environment is only what they're showing, cool. Now you come in contact with me, so that's not going to be. You can't
Right.
say this is all my environment now. You can't
Absolutely.
say I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't have, I didn't have. No, you can't say that now. If you
No.
met me, you've been around me, you've experienced anything that I have. If you know what I have, you can't
Yeah.
say that you didn't have that because
Yes.
now I'm going to challenge you to
Yeah.
be different, do different, try different, and
So
not
true.
only that, like you said, be that door. Now, when you're ready, here's the opportunity for you to come and learn and
Yeah.
grow and get into that experience. Like if you want an internship is not for going and moving up to the next level all the time. You may not even like
Yeah.
it. You do this 30-day internship
Yeah.
in fashion
Yeah.
as a whatever position that might be in there, and
Yes.
you might not even like it. You thought
You
you
may
did, but
not.
you don't. Now
Yes.
you can go and find something that you really do like.
Absolutely.
But without that experience, you wouldn't have known. You might have
No.
spent $1,000 or what I'm saying,
Right.
been sitting there, man, I never got the opportunity, but you did, and you didn't even like it. So now, or do you love it, and now what are you doing next? Like now you can
Right.
go ahead and what I'm saying, and plan and go to that, into that field. So
Yeah, absolutely.
man, wall and door, wow.
I love it.
Man,
Wall and
that's
door.
amazing.
That's
That's amazing. But like you said, the platforms that we have are allowing us to give back and impact the youth in different ways where we're not talking to them and talking at them. Oh, you
Yeah.
shouldn't do this. You should do that. That only words go but so far. Experiences in life are everything. Like you said,
Yeah.
see the world. Traveling to LA and talking about LA or seeing LA the movie is not the same.
It's not.
You can tell me your experience in LA,
Yeah.
but if I don't go, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. And which
You
I love
know.
LA, by the way. I love LA. Oh, I love
Man,
LA.
I went one time and man, I'm dying to get back. It was definitely
Right.
something of an experience that you
Yes.
have to have.
Yes,
like
you have to go to LA if you've never been.
you
God,
you
I'm
have
telling
to.
you right now, if you've never been, go to LA. I promise you. Yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
it is.
enjoyed it. All of what you were talking about as well has also spoke to your leadership. As
Yeah.
far as like being volunteering at
Yes.
Greensboro Fashion Week to become a partner, being able to go and meet the people that you've been able to meet, being a part, being the creator of the founder of Crownology
Yeah.
and Styles by Joseph and anything else that you haven't done yet that's going to happen. Like that's leadership,
Yeah.
right? So what do you think like some important traits of leadership are?
Humility, for one. I say soberness, right? Like, don't get drunk in your ego.
That's powerful right there.
Yeah, like that's why I call myself the lead creative director, because I know that I'm not the only creative director amongst my team.
Yes.
I just say the lead. I'm not the creative director. I'm just one of the lead creative directors,
Yeah.
right? Just because at the end of the day, making sure that your ego is not in the way, because sometimes ideas and certain things that come is not like, half of what you saw at the show was a conglomerate of all of us having a discussion.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. I knew what I wanted. I knew how I wanted to do it. But then the people that I've trusted with Crownology, having that wisdom to know who to. Like wisdom, soberness, it's all a part of that, because everybody's not supposed to be a part of that piece. And then knowing who's supposed to be in the inner circle and who's supposed to be on the outer. So like when I have like those conversations about like next year's show, that's not all 12 to 15 of us.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just literally like maybe my one or my two, you know?
Okay.
And sometimes the creativity piece comes from when I'm having conversations with my best friends.
Wow.
That do other things outside of, like, so you don't do what I do.
Yes.
But we're talking about next year goal or whatever. So they're like, oh yeah, so what you got planned? And so I'm kind of bouncing out ideas off of them, and boom, organically it happens.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so I think leadership, but making sure that you keep that wisdom, and just that soberness, not to be, crazy on ego, with leadership, and having a tough skin, man. Like really making sure that you have a tough skin for people, but then also tough skin for the grit.
Oh yeah.
It takes that tough skin, man. And even down to having a big heart. Keep your heart open, but just don't be deceived, right? I think that's my thing.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big right there.
Yeah, because sometimes I can't give my ideas to everybody, right? Like, and I think that's the thing too. Being a creative, it's so hard to partner and collab.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who's just a vulture or who is like,
and who's genuine.
Oh, yeah, genuine. It's like, oh, I like this. Yo, and you look up and it's already on social media. You know what I'm saying? So then I know, all right, so I know exactly who I said that to, right?
Ooh,
so, but I think that's the thing too. And that's when it gets really chummy and the waters get very muddy. Is because this business has a bad rep of people that are just backstabbers. Yeah. Because everybody's trying to make it. Everybody's trying to get to the top. So we say collab, but we mean use.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to collab, right? You don't want to collab. You don't want to say you and me. You want to say you and me, put a little bit of help in.
Oh no, I understand exactly.
Yeah, and so I think that's the thing. But that's that wisdom, man. To be honest, just making sure that you have that wisdom. But yeah, I think for leadership, having that tough skin and just having a good all morale, and then being open and being able to talk and converse, with your team. And I'm not a pointer. I don't point. I show. Like I'm out there. People can tell you right now. I don't know. I tell people all the time. Like when the day of my show, I got on sneakers, I got on jeans, I got on a t-shirt. And they have to make me go get dressed. Okay. Because I want to make sure that everybody's coming in and everybody's good. Everybody got their food, their drinks, or whatever, and everybody's just having a good time and everybody's comfortable. I'm going to change in a few, but let's just make sure that everything has rolled in really nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. When you said that, I remember going up to the institute, coming in, and there were you had human. Is it human statue? Is that the right term?
Yes. Oh, so mannequin model.
Mannequin model. Man, I was like, that. Man, wow. That was just a good flashback from what you said of being in comfortable clothing to make sure everything is right and ready for the show. To make sure. Because
how long did you because that was the show where, oh my God, so and I'm transparent, so we didn't cut off our Eventbrite by accident. We don't even know how that happened. My admin, she thought she cut it off, but she didn't, and so we had at least 250 to 300 people there. Wow. Yeah, it was a pile, and we had so many people. If you remember, it was hot.
Yeah.
But we were waiting. People were waiting in line, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, how are we gonna get this? How are we gonna do this?" I honestly wanted to go to the crib. Like I was like, "Oh my gosh." They were like, "DJ, calm down, bro. Like this is a good thing to have." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "I got so many people outside. People were waiting outside on the sidewalk to get in." I'm blessed. That was a
the
bless.
quality of the show.
Yeah,
I mean,
but in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta find somewhere to put these folks." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it worked wonderfully.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great flow and everything. But the mannequin models, them babies were hot. They were sweating, but the ambiance of it was just good. I love to make sure that you get a different experience each time. And so I wanted to elevate. So you got to the mannequin models. Wow. Then you go in. Oh, I can take all the pictures I want.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boom, bet. Then you come in and there's a whole live band with an orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did. You definitely did from the Oh, yeah.
We
you
try to
definitely
build
set the tone.
that. We try to.
Wow.
Every room or every experience when you come should be different, right? And so, but I think you just need to be open to that as far as a leader is concerned.
Yes.
Take the setbacks. Each setback, I'm learning now that each setback was definitely for something, right? Some of that stuff can become cliche, but it's also the truth,
What's
I've
the
had a
biggest
lot of
lesson
hiccups.
you've learned?
The biggest lesson that I have learned
or setback that you might have had.
to be patient. And I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Stay in my lane, but in my lane, make sure that you're staying in the rhythm.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so my rhythm is just making sure that I keep an open line of prayer and that I stay focused. And I'm going to be honest, when you're in your lane and when you're in your rhythm, everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you may feel like that you're behind. You're not behind. You're
Right
at your own schedule, at your rhythm, in your lane, and being patient. So, because I felt like that when I had an idea or I had something to come, I needed to get it out immediately because I wanted to be the first one to get it out.
Yeah, that's a natural feeling.
That's a natural feeling, right? Because we were like, oh, maybe because this is the it thing.
Yeah.
This may be it. This is it right here.
It's my moment.
Yeah. But no, I learned that I needed to be patient and I needed to sit back and allow the people that I work with to operate into what their places are within our company. But then also I needed to make sure and trust. But being in that rhythm, just trusting that rhythm and trusting my lane, and I will arrive on time every time.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So I know the fashion show that you're talking about with the mannequin models. You were mentioning that the Eventbrite was over. I guess oversold tickets. Too many people for the space that you prepared for. However, because I know you mentioned that. I think when I got there, I don't know. I came late, so I don't know what was going on. But I know you came out and you said that, and then I think you said it again at the end. You kept mentioning, "Yo, I thank y'all. I apologize." Just speaking of, was that like one of your biggest like?
Oh yes, horrible. The next day I felt
bad moments.
Yes, the next day I felt like I had failed. I had packed up our stuff, made sure everything was straight. I had the U-Haul still. I left everything on the U-Haul. Mind you, my townhome was just full of color and paint, clothes and dresses. I had boxes and dresses. And I'm like, yo, I got to hurry and get rid of this stuff. But I packed up my stuff and I got home and I stayed in the bed all week, that whole week.
How did you overcome that moment? I know you felt like you failed. However, in hindsight, not even in hindsight, it's probably not hindsight, but in that moment of me being there as a guest that didn't know you or know anything about what happened, it was great. You know what I'm saying? As an entrepreneur, as somebody who likes to go to quality things, I mean, I didn't see anything, of course I wasn't waiting in the line, but I mean, again, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I know that things can go wrong. So when I go to events and things like that are going on that are uncontrollable, then it's like, okay, it's out of your hands. It's something that you couldn't control. But what controllable is when I'm at events, that's when me as an entrepreneur and as a guest, I'm like, okay, look, well, I don't know what happened to planning or whatever, but that if it's an uncontrollable, it's like, listen, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
You know what
and
I'm saying?
I think that's the thing, our following, extended a lot of grace, right? And they love us because they know that we deliver every time. And so it was a great thing to have, right? Like, and I think that's my thing too, because I put us on Eventbrite, and so there were guests that literally was just into town for the weekend and decided to just find something to put on and come.
Nice.
So I was glad. Some people I didn't even know. I got an email from a lady from our Eventbrite, and she was like, "Hi, you don't know me, or whatever. I just want to tell you that I was so glad that I came through Danville and stayed the night because I came to your show, and you showed me the reason why I needed to let my daughter come here. Like this, like me coming was just to scope out, and me and my husband didn't have nothing to do, and we just came, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking like that speaks volumes to a person that doesn't even know me.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I stayed in the bed that whole entire week. I did, and nobody knew. You know, and that's the thing too, because we can function. You know, if I'm melancholy or depressed, I can function to a level to where you don't know what's going on. But anyway, what I did to get over that. I got up that Monday, the next week, got up that Monday, and I said, okay, DJ, like this literally was out of your hands, and it wasn't a big of a deal because I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Listen, if you say 200 seats, put 200 seats out there, and I want them nice, your bag, you come, you sit down, and because I want you to that's like you coming to my crib, like you coming to my house, you know, I'm gonna feed you. You want? I got water. I got it all. What you want? You know what I'm saying? I want you to be comfortable. If you spend the night, you spending the night. Oh, I got toothpaste, toothbrush. I got everything for you. Like the Ritz-Carlton. I'm serious because hospitality is what my family raised me up on. You know. But you know, what I did was I really had to remember, and I actually opened up my phone and I went back and I looked at the recaps.
Good.
And Rashida, I looked at the recaps, and I looked at the pictures, and I looked at I had the time enough to look at all of the reviews and the tags. And I said, okay, yeah. These people had a good time.
Yes.
They were dressed up. And I said, okay, yeah. So this is definitely, what I've allowed to do was to make this molehill into this big moat and mountain in my eye and to distract me from what actually happened.
Yes.
You literally just put on your very first fashion production. You know what I'm saying? And so I did. And I was very grateful. Because we had people from D.C. We did have people from Philly. We had people from D.C., Philly, all the way down from South Carolina, man, even Georgia. And it was really good. It was really good.
It was, man. I'm glad you overcame that thing. And like you said, it was uncontrollable. So those uncontrollables, man,
absolutely.
They definitely hit different. However, you know what I'm saying, if it's out of your control, it's almost like, well, what can you do? You just have to, you know, just keep moving, and you know, it'll happen. It'll work its way out. That's great. The leadership, like I said, the leadership is everything, and
it is.
When you are a leader, it's everything. Like, you know, those things really get to you.
Yes, they
really
do.
Get to you when you're looking at your performance.
Yeah.
So along your journey, I mean, you know, you've been talking about mentorship as far as like mentoring the youth and being a mentor and providing those things. Like, who have you had as far as like mentors in your life?
Yeah. Wow. So growing up, you know, it's always been my father, Mayor Alonzo Jones. My father, his name is Keith Johnson. Let me make sure I say my dad's name. My father
it didn't sound like he was the mayor.
Yeah. My dad, his name was Keith Johnson. You know, I look at the different people like James Cousins, the previous owner from Abe Copland.
Okay.
You know, Jay Bolin. You know, Marvin St. McCary, who was our executive pastor, my pastor, Bishop Younger. Different mentors. Yeah, because the thing is, I tell people each phase of my life warranted a different type of mentor.
Yes.
Mr. Cornelius Lassiter. He was one of my high school teachers. Mrs. Paulette Stevens, who was my administrator. It's Mr. Lassiter and Mrs. Stevens. They're the reason why I have such a passion for the young people in the school system.
Nice.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, I'm super, super grateful for them. You know, I'm thinking now, it's just so many different people. Mrs. Alice Robinson, you know, she was the first lady to tell my mama that I could sing. My mama didn't know I could sing, and I sung at the daycare graduation.
Okay.
And ever since then, that whole, because I do play. I don't play anymore, but I grew up playing. So I played drums like at 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then I started playing organ and keys at 11.
Okay.
And I played all the way up until I was out of my 20s, right? I come from a musical background family. My grandfather played guitar, my aunt played piano. My precious aunt, God rest her soul, Geneva Blackwell, she used to show me things on the piano. She was my godmother, and and so I think each season of my life, I've had somebody to stop by to give me the nuggets that I needed for that time and moment. And those people I've called literally was a span of childbirth all the way up until I am now 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Mentorship is important, and who you have in your life, like you said, you said each phase of your life, the right people were around and they came to give you the right nuggets. That's important.
Yeah. Derek Monroe, he every once in a while, so my friend Derek Monroe, he actually is a hairstylist for The View.
Okay.
And I try to lean in on him when I'm having questions, especially like production questions, right? Or like fashion questions and things, trying to know the ins and the outs,
Yes.
I've had the opportunity a month ago to experience The View, actually in New York.
Wow.
Which is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You all have to go. When you get a chance, if y'all are in New York and if you're there for a taping week, definitely get online and just reserve you some tickets.
Oh, for real?
Free of charge. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Man,
you
check
can
it
go.
out. I didn't know that.
It's super, super dope. And so, really good time. They rolled out the red carpet for us, you know what I'm saying? But it was because we were a family friend. So,
nice.
That was really, really dope. But and so even down to Jay Bolin, if I have a question, if I have something that I may need, or if I have an idea or something that I really need a professional or expertise on, I can text him really quick. How does this look, or what do you think about this? And and I get that. And so I'm very grateful for the network of people that has mentored me and helped me to get to where I am today. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I heard the term "your network is your net worth" in 2015 when I was involved with multi-level marketing and network marketing, whatever you want to call that business, that industry. And I used to hear it a lot, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
However, from then until now, my network has grown so large that I like to really credit myself on building that. And then when I flash back to college, like, what did I learn? I was there 4 years. I have a degree in marketing.
Oh,
but
dope.
what am I like? What did I really learn?
Right.
And it was networking, because I kept building relationships and I was establishing, meeting people and talking and learning to build, but I didn't know why or what I was doing. So I learned networking in 4 years. And then when I got into the industry of networking, where you had to continue to talk to people, I was able to, reach back and talk to a lot of different people. But then from there, all the people within that, realm of 15 until now, I've been able to meet.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like to the point where between that and basketball,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Between that and basketball, I can do interviews with all over. You know what I'm saying? Like Busy is, we went to daggone elementary school together, middle school, middle school. So I've been knowing him since middle school up until now. You know what I'm saying? Like we graduated high school together and everything. So I mean, I've been knowing him for a long time. But just networking and meeting different people from different things, like your network is your net worth, and that is really, if you are utilizing it, properly. If you're utilizing it to the maximum potential, and if you actually use your network, then you will, see it pay off.
And I'm going to tell you, even with that, we have to go in knowing nothing. Because I think it was a particular passage that I read in my pastor's book about, he was actually he said he was at a business meeting. They were having a business meeting. It was Mace, and it was, and the exec they were having a conversation about sales. And he said, somebody said something about how many records did I sell or whatever, or did I do good as, I think he said Ja Rule, and Pastor Marvin was like, at that time Marvin, he was like, oh no, you did hard, like you didn't do nowhere near what Ja Rule did. One, he's just an exec, like you're an assistant. You don't even need to be saying nothing in this room. You're supposed to be quiet. And he said they literally looked at him, and he said he got up and just like ran out the door, basically walked fast. But I said that to say that the network that you've built of people that get you where you are, that silence to listen has been key in your life, right? Because you said it to yourself, you love to talk, right? This is you're gifted to do this, but then the moments when you're quiet, those moments you're quiet because your ears are open and keen to get the knowledge and to get what you need to get from that. And so that's what I try my very best to do, to go in knowing nothing, and getting all I can get so that I can be the better person.
Most definitely.
Outside of that, right? But that network and net worth, that takes years of building. And when you build it, it's sacred and it's good, because I promise you, you'll need it for the rest of your life.
Most definitely.
You'll definitely need it for the rest of your life.
Most definitely. And like you said, going and knowing nothing is like, as a leader, to be a great leader, you also have to be a great student, or just be a student in general. So if you're not always learning and striving to learn, and, if you're learning, that means you're putting your ego to the side. Your ego's not in the way. I don't care where I am, what room I'm in. I'm always willing to learn, and that's where my talking comes into play. Like the questions that I ask are about me learning something. Like I'm it's just a natural ability that I just ask questions and talk like, what do you do? And then it goes from there. Like I could say I've had countless podcast interviews just on the fly without even realizing it. And I'm like, but I learned so much. And I'm like, man, I mean, everything is not meant for the camera. Everything is not meant to be recorded. However, it's in my brain, and I'm utilizing the information that I gained from those experiences to this day. And it's, I love it.
I love it. Me too.
I love it. I love it. It's allowed me the opportunity to be sitting here with you.
Absolutely.
And just networking, and reputation is also, something that's important. Like when we're talking about networking, it takes years to build. Had we not been stand-up people and, great people from, then until now, reaching back, it wouldn't be possible.
Wouldn't be. No, not at all.
If I wasn't carrying myself and, creating a positive reputation, you wouldn't be saying, I'll come on your podcast.
That's right.
I mean, I met you through the network, however, and through the city that we live in. But if what I was doing or who I was not a positive, something that you would want to be a part of, not knowing me, then you wouldn't be sitting right here today, which is really important. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm like you said, am I doing enough? Did I do it right? Is my podcast good quality? Is it, I'm not, David Shantz was one of my online mentors, with his podcast. So it's like, I don't have all the, everything that everybody had, $1,000 equipment, a whole team coming in. So I'm not thinking who's going to want to send my podcast, because I have confidence and belief in myself. So I'm like, if I ask you and you do it, then cool. If you say no, I mean, honestly speaking, it's your loss, not mine, because I know what's going to happen. I know the opportunity that we both get from sitting here. I'm learning a lot from sitting here talking to you, and I'm enjoying it, and it's a positive, it's positive, and it's just, I know that the youth that I want to hear this, that will hear this, are going to learn something from it, and that's the whole. Not even just youth, anybody that's listening to this is going to learn something from it and get one piece that is going to help them move to the next stage of their life, next phase of their life, or whatever it is. So whether, like I said, whether you choose to come sit with me or not, I mean, hey, your loss, not mine, because I want you to be able to give your gift to the next person.
That's right.
Not to me. This is for everybody else, not for me.
And I knew that I wanted to come, because meeting you through the network, but then also seeing you within our network, it was already like, oh yeah. Like, we're going to definitely, I can tell that this is going to be something great, right?
Yes.
And it has to organically happen, right? Nothing is forced, right? But, being, at, OG Sundays and things of that nature, that's, and I'm doing all these shameless plugs tonight. Like, it's crazy. But that's the community that we have. We're seeing each other at each other's events. And that's what builds up the great community. But I knew that I wanted to come, and I'm honored. Because sometimes I don't really feel like I have anything to say. I'm just doing the work. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, this was powerful tonight, because to be able to articulate what's in my heart and what I've been given to do is really special, and I definitely appreciate you are even allowing me to come. Have the conversation today.
Most definitely wouldn't have had it any other way. So along your journey, like, what are some of the most impactful moments you've had? Like, I mean, we talked about like your passions, things you like to do. You mentioned a few experiences like with Jay Bolin. And other people. Like, so what are some impactful moments that you've had along the way?
Let's see, most impactful.
Even
moments.
In church, like I know you speak about your pastor. I know I see different things online. I'm gonna have to make it down there one day. I'm definitely gonna have to come.
Come on up.
I'm definitely gonna have to come.
So one of the most impactful things that happened. So let's start with church. Is that I've only been at the church that I'm at now for 6 years.
Okay.
And my very first year, I have been knowing them all my life, right? but my very first year joining, they actually hired me to do set design and style for the whole production.
Wow, that's huge because I see it, and I didn't even know it was you.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I did set design and production along with one of my other good friends, Jalen Davis, who is Face Over Matter on YouTube and on Instagram. Awesome woman. But yeah, no, and so we partnered together, and the Monarch label, and they sat down with us and they told us what they wanted from us, and I didn't think that I could do it. I was nervous, but Enoch, one of our men that go to the church, he's one of the executives that run it, and he was like, oh no, you can do this. Mm-hmm. He was like, yeah, bro, yeah, you got this or whatever. And that was really impactful to me because for them to take something as large and as huge as our very first album production, and for you to trust me with styling the entire choir, background vocals, BGVs, set design, and him. That was crazy.
Wow, man, yeah, I see it. I'm looking, I see the posts online, and I see all the production and everything like that.
And
wow,
I was like, yo, and so that was very impactful for me as an artist, but not knowing that was speaking to, because mind you, I had already had this whole thing about Crownology, so so I can handle production.
Yes,
I can't handle the stage, the lights, production, videography. You know what I'm saying? BTS, I can handle it all. You know what I'm saying? I just need a team. But yeah, I can get this done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so that was one of the most impactful things for me. Becoming partner for Twin City Fashion Week was definitely an impactful moment for me. Going to LA and really learning and studying LA and really learning the arts, man. Like, I don't really think that we understand how powerful art and fashion is together.
Yes.
And then even when I say art, even down to the culinary piece of food.
Oh yeah.
And so there's somebody for everything, yo. So I think that was impactful. Going to Texas, going to the Stellar Awards, that was majorly impactful for me. And now working on my upcoming journey, with DC Miami Swim Week. Is extremely impactful for me, and I'm excited about what that's going to bring for me. We're building this story. I'm writing and we're building and we're going, and so we're just going to see what's what. But honestly, those have been the most impactful things for me. And my family being able to see it. My mom and my grandmother and my dad and my sisters and my nephews being able to be alive to see, what I'm building.
Yes.
Because I talk about it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Some days they have to say to me, we are not talking about Crownology today, I'm like, well, it's fine then. I'm gone. Peace.
Yeah,
exactly. Because it's in me,
Yes.
But no, I get it. I have those family moments. We have our family time together, but just my family being able to see it and me knowing that I'm making so many people proud, it really does. It does me and does my heart really good. So those, if I can say anything, those are about the most impactful things for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And what are you gonna be doing down at Swim Week in Miami?
So in Swim Week in Miami, I will be working as an executive producer intern. In my first 6 months, and I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of the largest swim weeks. Actually, it's the largest swim week.
So yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Wow, man. Wow, this has been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So amazing. And I think that's the thing I'm going to bring back, right? Like, at some point, I know that I'll eventually grow out of this area just to become, so that I can be more communicable and I can delve.
Yes.
But I will always have roots here, but I will also make sure that what I've already started is going to be a continual thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't like to hear the myth of, like, you need to leave. I get, you do need to leave, but I think it's more so a visiting, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me visit LA. Let me visit New York. Let's go to Europe. Let's go to Africa.
Yes.
Let's go to these different places. And that's another most impactful thing. I love missionary work as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been to Guatemala.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been to Brazil, and so just to do missions work, that's within itself is just a beast by itself.
Oh yeah.
But let's go to these different places, but I want to bring stuff back home so that other people can be inspired to keep going and keep doing.
Yes, most definitely.
Absolutely.
So what you want to leave the people with, man? What do you want to leave them with, man? What's your... Words from DJ. What's that?
When you have the opportunity to be a wall, be a wall. But when you have the opportunity to be a door, make sure you open it up and you open it up wide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm glad you reeled that back in because I'm definitely going to write that down when I get home, man. That's
absolutely
important.
Yeah.
That's really, really important as a visual.
Yeah.
As a visual.
So true.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So where can we find you on social media?
Oh, yeah. So you can find me at Darrius Johnson on Facebook, Darrius_L Johnson on Instagram, Crownology Fashion, www.crownologyfashion.com, on Eventbrite, Crownology. All the socials. My name, Darrius Johnson in Crownology. And on Facebook, River City Fashion Week. You can find us there. Yeah, y'all grab y'all tickets and come. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah, man. I cannot wait, man. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. Yeah.
And upcoming shows, everything that's upcoming. I can't wait to see what everything else outside of the show unfolds for you, man. But it's been great, y'all.
And please download our album, our EP. Yes, personal. We have our album out. So, so just download that. You'll love it. It's going to be really
What's
good.
the name of your album?
So the name of the album is called Crown Me.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll see all of the different little EPs that we've already put out, but Crown Me is like really the beginning of the entire show. So the show that you came to, that actually is the whole show live.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. We're going to have to check that out. Check out Crown Me. Oh, yeah. Download that. I'm going to go check it out myself, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Man, this has been real, man. Stats Global. You can find us on all platforms at Stats Global Podcast. Until next time, man, I'll see y'all. All right.